Good afternoon and welcome to Joy News. Today we're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125 across all our social media handles. We're Joy News on TV. Coming up, Supreme Court defers decision in an interlocutory injunction filed by Richard Delasky and Dr. Mando Doi seeking to bar Parliament from transmitting the anti-gay bill to the presidency for assent. We're live in court for details. Also, Keita residents worried about reports that their town and other coastal communities are at risk of being displaced by rising sea levels. We've got business, sports, showbiz, and world news within the next 60 minutes. My name is Faustina Safo. Stay for details. Thanks for choosing us for your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now we start from Keita because residents of Keita say they are worried their city will be extinct in the next few years due to the closeness to the sea. Now they fear that that has been heightened by reports by the Ghana Hydrological Authority, which says the Aboase Power Enclave, which produces 730 megawatts of Ghana's electricity, and other state installation risks being wiped out by the sea. We'll hear from Keita residents in a bit. First, here's Adubi Asari's report from the Hydrological Authority Service report.
The Ghana Hydrological Authority says it has now become urgent for the country to protect the threatened institutions or lose them.
So along our coastal stretch, we have different or varying levels of vulnerability. We have varying levels of vulnerability. So at one end, we are losing as much as 1.3 meter per year to the coast.
They include the St. Augustine's College, the University of Cape Coast, the Cape Coast Nursing and Midwifery College. Also under threat is the Accra, Cape Coast and Cape Coast Takoradi stretch of the N1 highway, all in the central region.
The college is in Cape Coast, and we have the Cape Coast Takoradi Road very, very much at risk. We have St. Augustine's College. If any of you went to St. Augustine's, I have to pray that we can do this work very quickly. Otherwise, in a couple of years' time, St. Augustine's will disappear from the surface of the earth. We have Cape Coast Central Hospital nearby as well.
In the western region, the Aboase Power Enclave, where the Takoradi Power Plant and the Twin Energy Station are located, will all be affected.
We have a Aboase Enclave where we have a power plant that is at risk. You know, again, the sea is very close to the power plant.
In the Greater Accra region, Dansoman, Ningo Pram, the Denu Aflao Highway, as well as some communities in the Volta region, all face the threat.
So that is Dansoman, and you will see, you know, these are recent photos showing properties being lost. You know, Dansoman particularly, the sea is very close to the road. And if nothing is done shortly, we will lose the road to the sea, along with all the houses sitting next to the road.
Some work is already underway to protect threatened communities, but the Hydrological Authority says the country will have to find $200 million to build coastal defense systems to avert a possible destruction of these communities. Adobia Asari for Joy News, Accra.
Now let's hear from Keita residents who have been speaking to my colleague and correspondent in that region, Ivy Setoji.
We are really at risk here along the coast, and our fears are very high because in the past 2-3 years, the way the tidal waves and the sea erosion is eroding portions of the land is becoming alarming. If nothing is done about it, we need to lose greater portion of the coastal lands and the coastal infrastructure.
What do you suggest, Mr.?
I suggest that a comprehensive sea defense project be done between government to Aplau area. You know, the areas affected are from Puveme, Popobo, Anyanui, Jita, Titeti, and to Keta, to now Salakopo, Agaveji, Adina area. So it's a long stretch of coastal land that is suffering from the coastal erosion.
A lot of property has been lost so far, and then the fish shuffles. It really affects them, their catches, and then most of the time, you know, when it's erode into the community, you realize that there are a lot of dumping sites in the community, and these things goes back into the sea, and then they ended up catching them as fish. So the catch normally goes down when these things happen. So yes, it affects the fish shuffles and then the
Okay.
Meanwhile, the executive director of Arocha Ghana, Darabosu, has been explaining how the situation can be tackled.
Yes, I think for me, what I want to propose is that, and I think a bit of it is happening already, is that we really need to pay attention to re-engineering our coastal communities and all of that, taking into consideration some of the nature-based solutions like the mangroves, activities like sand winning. There needs to be a very concerted national effort to really start protecting our seashores and our coastal areas against sand winning activities, which already exposes our coastal areas so much that any intervention you put in place is not even successful. So we really need to re-engineer our coastal area. We need to re-engineer how waste from the inland area goes to also erode the coastal areas and all of that. And even building infrastructure along the coast and some of the development in the oil and gas sector all spreading around the coastal areas. You know about the petroleum hub in the mine area within very prime coastal and mangrove ecosystems and all of that. We really need to put in a lot of planning and a lot of engineering to start securing our coastal areas. Otherwise, and when the sea really rises so much, we are all going to be found wanting.
Let's take you now to the court because the Supreme Court has deferred its decision in an interlocutory injunction filed by Richard Delasky and Amanda Odio seeking to bar Parliament from transmitting the anti-gay bill to the presidency for assent. Now, we know that the five-member Supreme panel chaired by the Supreme Justice and the Chief Justice in deferring this ruling indicated it will give the decision in the injunction application and the substantive application together in an expedited trial. We know that we'll be going to court shortly to speak to Richard Kojoyako, who has been following the case and who will join us with updates. But first, let's listen to the ruling today.
Over even critical factual contents of the parliamentary process, this court defers its ruling on the instant application for interlocutory injunction until full and complete hearing of the present suit. Yes, this is our ruling.
Lord, we are grateful.
Lord, we are also grateful. Yes, Miley, we are grateful too.
This application is also agenda signed. It's agenda signed. Now, panel that will hear the substantive matter, you need to know that unless processes are fully filed, a panel cannot come to consider it. It should be ready for hearing. So when can you get that done?
Lady, I think we can file our civil case within 2 weeks from today. As we were thinking, maybe we should bring an application to have the two cases consolidated so that we will have the issues dealt with at the same time. We were thinking about bringing a second application. Yeah.
Milady, with respect, we are left with the memorandum of issues. But as the record stands now, the defendants have not filed any response. So setting out the issues.
Head of our legal affairs desk, Richard Kojoyanko, was in court. He joins us live with details. Richard, let's understand what reason the court gave for advancing this case forward.
The Chief Justice reasoning that they came to this conclusion because they found out that some of the pleadings that found place in the current interim injunction also find place in the substantive matter, and so it will not serve the interest of justice should they go ahead to give a ruling now and then also give a decision in the substantive matter, and that is why they have opted to go for a composite ruling. But they are rather inching for an early trial and an expedited one as well, so that the interest of justice will be better served. We know that the legal vacation is also here with us, but they say they are going to do everything possible to ensure that they have some kind of an early trial. We've been speaking with lawyers for the plaintiff who filed the application. Let's speak with the lawyer for Richard Delaska. We've been speaking to him. He says that it is in the interest of the rule of law for a composite decision to be made by the Supreme Court.
Let's understand the dynamics. Does it mean Parliament can now transmit the bill to the presidency? We'll come back for a response to that shortly, but let's listen to the lawyer.
Once it is pending, you don't do anything to prejudice the outcome of the application. So we say that invariably, indirectly, it is still restraining any party from doing anything contrary to the demands of the application.
I mean, for clarity, as far as you are concerned, you do not expect Parliament to transmit the bill?
No, they can't do it insofar as this matter is pending. Otherwise, it will amount to contempt of court, to the best of our understanding of the law.
When the court says early trial, what's your understanding of that? How different is it? Early trial.
When the court speaks about an early trial, in effect, what it means is that it will speed up the process towards the determination of the matter, so that this whole issue of injunction before final determination will no longer take a center stage.
With a legal vacation inside, how soon do you expect this thing to happen? Should be in mind that the court is asking you to file your own process and cooperate.
As an officer of the court, I am not in the least in the position to dictate the timetable of the court. But the farthest I can say is that pleadings have not closed in the matter. As you might have rightly heard from the Attorney General, they are yet to file their response. And I believe counsel for the first defendant is also yet to file. So until those processes are filed, nobody can tell when we'll be giving date for our next appearance.
What do you make of the point for prosecution?
We have always maintained that our pleading in one trajectory is different from that of the first defendant, but our case subsumes the case of the first defendant. So determining the two together will not spoil anything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Kojoyanko joins us back with details. Now, Richard, does it mean Parliament can now transmit the bill to the presidency?
As it stands now, the injunction application still holds until the final determination of this application and the substantive suit. Parliament is barred from transmitting this bill to the presidency for us. And we've been speaking with the Attorney General, and he believes that the law is the law. And until the final determination of this matter, Parliament can still not transmit the bill to the presidency.
I'm sorry, what should happen is what the court indicated, that we have to await the committee, and once that the court thinks can be better dealt with in a substantive action. And it's permissible for a court to do that. There's nothing unusual at all. The court actually referred to an existing rule on injunctions. And so I think that the court is fair in coming by that approach.
When the applicant holds the view that at this stage they do not expect Parliament to transmit the bill, but the status quo should remain, is that a view that the office shares as well?
And that's a sound view. I mean, if as At this stage, the process have not been transmitted. And there must be a reason for that. The reason is that there was this application for interlocutory injunction pending. And the court has still not disposed of the application for interlocutory injunction. The court said the determination of that application for interlocutory injunction should abide the determination of the main case. And for that matter, it is reserving its determination until the main action is heard. It tells you that the application for interlocutory injunction is still pending, has not been disposed of. And so I think that would be the proper course to take.
I mean, the court made a point about an early trial, but we know that the legal vacation is just upcoming. I mean, are we looking at the possibility of maybe request for a special dispensation, or we just have to go by the normal calendar?
Well, I still have to file my processes, and that will be the first point for me to take. So it's a matter of complying with the rules of court. I have to comply with the rules of court first before you think about an expeditious hearing. So the question of an expeditious hearing of the main case does not arise at this stage until all processes have been filed and the parties are ready to move forward. You heard counsel for the first defendant even talking about an application for a consolidation that has to be made, and that has not been done. So I do not think that there's a need for us to consider the question whether.
For the injunction application, it appeared as though the AG's office did not have a position as to whether it should be injuncted or not. We were concerned about certain questions of laws being answered. Yeah. Is that the same approach for the substantive case?
I think that's the main issue. I mean, the point is that the country ought to know that we're a country governed by a constitution. The constitution that prevails over everyone. We're all under the constitution and the laws of Ghana. And therefore, the actions of every person must be determined within the premises of the law. Same as a person can even question my constitutional right to prosecute in this country. We have seen that many times. Citizens of the country even file applications, the Supreme Court questioning the Attorney General's power to enter another prosecute in a certain matter and that kind of thing. And it comes up for determination in the Supreme Court. It's the same way that a decision or an action taken by Parliament can be questioned by citizens of the country. And so for me, the questions are raised during the hearing of the application for interlocutory injunction were ones that for me have not been determined in this country. And today it has not been determined. It's the very first time that a private member's bill is, or issues regarding private member's bill are coming up for determination. Because private members' bill are quite novel. It occurred only in the time of the former parliament, the 7th parliament, headed by Speaker Professor Michael Quay. It was in his time. Of course, it was with my help as Deputy Attorney General that we all sat down, we had a roundtable conference, and then we sat down to craft ways of empowering Parliament to engender or produce its own bills. And it was in the time of the last Parliament headed by Professor Quay that the first private members' bill was passed. And really was without controversy because it did not have any implications for the taxpayer. Now, there are a lot of bills being churned through Parliament now on account of private members, which really have implications for the public purse. And I think for me, as the Attorney General of the Republic, is a question of important consideration that the court ought to really consider. Because since 1957, as I indicated to the court, since 1957, every constitution the country has had, apart from the 1961, has had provisions on Article 108. Provisions akin to Article 108 in it. And there has not been any case at all filed questioning the circumstances, the ambit, or the extent to which a person can commence a bill which has implications for the taxpayer, but which do not go through the requirement of Article 108. So I think the court ought to consider such a question. And as I indicated, is a case where every person in the country ought to know that his action ought to be in accordance with the Constitution, and we all live under the Constitution of the country. And that's a country that we all seek to build. It must be in accord with fairness, and that's why we say it's a country governed by freedom and the rights of people and all that. Thank you.
Godfrey Ibuadami there. Richard Kojinyako, you're still with us. Tell us when next this case will be heard in court.
Also, as you heard the Attorney General speak to us, he indicated that there are several processes that ought to be filed before the case will be listed. So the lawyer for Parliament or for the Speaker of Parliament, for instance, indicated that they need to file some kind of consolidation processes to consolidate this particular application to that of the substantive suit. And so before the court will list this case again, all these processes would have to be filed by both the applicant and the respondent in this manner in order to ensure that everything has been done. So we do not have really a definite date that has been set by the court, but that case will be listed.
Thank you, Legal Affairs Correspondent Richard Kojo-Yakum. Now, residents of Kumewu and Formula in the Ashanti region are excited at the quality of infrastructure and health service delivery at two hospitals in the areas recently operationalized, the Setri Kumewu and Adansi North District Hospitals, which together provided 240 beds open to the public few months ago after a 10-year wait. Ohim Interior of our help desk has more in this report.
This firm, NMS Infrastructure Limited, was awarded the contract on 7 hospital projects, including Adansi North and Setri Kumewu District Hospitals. The district hospitals in Dodowa, Sekondi Takrady, Garu and Abitifi complete the list. The Setri Kumewu District Hospital started operations on April 15, 2024, while the Adansi North District Hospital commenced operations on November 6, 2023. Fred Su is Executive Chairman of NMS Infrastructure Limited.
But this is also not just a centre for health, but a centre of employment. And I think that's where one of its greatest values lies. And what we in NMS are focusing on doing is delivering healthcare, education facilities, clean water, and jobs in agriculture.
Residents traveled long distances for referral services or to receive medical attention in ramshackle temporary facilities until recently. They say doing this endangered their lives. Ama Afrakoma, a resident of Formina in the Adansi North District, is one of them.
My husband returned from UK and insisted everyone visit and rest at this British Standard Hospital. According to him, the hospital compares to what they have abroad. Even before I saw the doctor, I was healed just by the sight of the hospital environment. The hospital environment is very neat and clean, possessing a spirit of healing. All I can say is that may God bless the contractors for this beautiful edifice.
Nana Ofori Ajamai, the chief linguist for Adansi Hini, says the operationalization of the Adansi North District Hospital will stop needless deaths linked to referrals to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital or Bekwai Hospital. According to him, the new Adansi Hospital is better built.
Hospital Yabe, Abama Adansi Mai, Abama Santi Mai, Abama Ghana for.
The benefits from this new hospital are enormous. It goes beyond Adansiman. We used to patronize a clinic in the absence of the hospital. We are then referred to Benito and then to either Bekwai or Komfanochi Hospital. Patients many a time die on their way during such referrals. Those of us coming from Tebeso, Bojisango, Abosamso are happy this new hospital has been opened in Formina. I think the Formina hospital looks better than the Komfanochi hospital in terms of design. For a moment, one may assume you've entered an airport, but it is a hospital.
The Adansi North District Hospital has since seen 2,100 hospital admissions, 470 deliveries, including 150 cesarean sections, and 228 minor and major procedures. Dr. Abena Yorsin is the medical superintendent.
We've done about 2,100 hospital admissions since inception, a total of about 470 deliveries. And out of that, about 350 were vaginal deliveries. We've done cesarean section of almost about 150. We've also done other surgeries in total, other major surgeries in total, 209 minor surgeries.
The Setri Kumewu District Hospital, on the other hand, 370 outpatient department patients per day and has already documented 100 major procedures, all of which were referrals from surrounding hospitals. From Puma, a 38-year-old mother of 7 and a regular client of the Old Kumawu Polyclinic delivered her 7th child at the newly constructed Kumawu District Hospital. She was cuddling her newly delivered male child here at the time of our visit.
I am a client of the Old Kumawu Polyclinic. 4 of my children were delivered there until recently when they opened this new hospital. I just delivered at the new facility. Nurses and everybody here acted professionally. It is safer to deliver here than the old hospital which lacked space. This place is very neat.
Her account is supported by the mother of 3, Dora Ajay, who thinks the neatly built hospital could compare many women to give birth.
This hospital looks nice. The more emphasis you place on this modern facility, the more tempted one will give birth here.
The Health Minister, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, has commended NMS Infrastructure Limited for the provision of quality infrastructure.
It was a design, construction, equipping that came with its funding. It has all the ingredients of a fit-for-purpose primary healthcare facility, which means that almost everything that must be done when it comes to the basic things in health can be handled here.
Medical Superintendent of Kumawu District Hospital speaks highly of the link between quality infrastructure and healthcare delivery.
What we have here is a 120-bed capacity hospital. You know, we were in a polyclinic where we have roughly 40 beds, but even that, the beds were so close that it was so uncomfortable for patients and staff. Staff are now more comfortable, the space, talk about privacy for the patients, all those things have improved significantly. And you look at the environment, both external and internal environment, I think it's something that people talk about a lot. This is, a great work that has been done here.
Meanwhile, authorities at the Kumawu District Hospital have scheduled the month of July for free surgical care for clients. For Joy News, Ohime Interior reporting.
Let's take you now live to the Ashanti region. Anawachi Adam is our man on the ground because we know the president will later today commission the Kumawu and Fomna district hospitals. Anawachi Adam, what should we expect?
Well, today we are expecting President Akufo-Addo to officially commission the Kumawu and then Fomna government hospitals in the Ashanti region. But before that, the president would be having an engagement with the Youth Employment Agency as they hold the Youth YA Beneficiaries Forum at the Bantama constituency. That is where the president will move from, then inspect the Fomena government hospital, and then officially commission it at the Kumawu constituency, where he would do both. After inspecting Fomena, he would then look at the state of the Kumawu government hospital as well. That's where the whole ceremony will be held, and then officially commission these 2 hospitals. And so this is what we are expecting President Akufo-Addo to be doing in the Ashanti region. We are being told that these hospitals are well equipped and then they are ready for use. Residents and community members would have quality access to these hospitals right after President Akufo-Addo commissions them.
Thank you, Nana. We'll be back at that place when the commissioning officially commences. Now, let's break for business. You're watching Joy News Today.
Welcome back to Business Live on Joy News Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. The Chief Executive Officer of Shelter Afrique, Tieno Habib Han, has paid a courtesy call on the Minister of Works and Housing, Kojo Opon Nkrumah, in Accra. This visit follows Shelter Afrique's transition into a Shelter Afrique Development Bank. According to Tieno Habib, Ghana's commitment as a shareholder of the bank underscores the government's dedication to Africa's transformation agenda. Shelter Afrique Development Bank is a leading Pan-African institution focused on funding housing, urban and infrastructure development. During a courtesy call on the Minister of Works and Housing in Accra, the bank's managing director, Tieno Habib Han, praised Ghana's commitment to advancing the institution's transformational agenda.
Your active participation was very crucial to get us to take some of the major transformational decisions that the institution had to take. As you know, we came on board last year, January 2023, and since then we have engaged into major transformational reforms. At the last extraordinary general meeting of shareholders in Algiers in October 2023, we had a transformation that made this institution become a development bank. Now, the AGM you attended last June basically was the first annual general meeting of shareholders since that transformation. So it was a historical moment, and we are very glad that we're able to be there with a strong team from Ghana to witness, right? We're very much putting us in the right direction.
The Minister of Works and Housing, Kojo Opon Nkrumah, expressed optimism about the bank's support for housing projects in the country.
Hospitality, the excellence associated with the 43rd AGM, we were very impressed, especially at the learning opportunities for us to have an opportunity to learn from some of the other jurisdictions and see how they are advancing. Financing and technology, all associated with, urban developments and housing. We were also excited at the opportunity to be elected onto the board. It's a big deal for us. Absolutely. And we, as I mentioned, intend to use our presence on the board to advocate for a deepening of capitalization and a deepening of financing programs to support housing schemes across the continent. Thirdly, we are also excited at the opportunity to bring on board our National Home Ownership Fund. I'm sure at tomorrow's technical meetings we can talk more about that. Fantastic. And learning from what you've done in Nigeria, and in other jurisdictions, explore how to strengthen our fund to better serve the Ghanaian market.
The government of Ghana was recognized for leading the establishment of 7 multilateral institutions across the continent, enhancing the country's financial outlook. Now, moving on, insurance practitioners are urging small and medium companies to protect their goods and property by embracing insurance. Explaining the need for SMEs to sign on to insurance, Chief Executive of Oli Insurance Brokers, Stephen Kwatin Yeboah, stated that the only way to plan for uncertainties is by insuring goods and property to avoid unforeseen losses in the future. He spoke to Joy Business at a seminar to build capacity of selected SMEs as part of its SME Month celebration in Accra.
What we identified is that the SMEs, they lack the support when it comes to insurance. Most of the time, insurance is very complex. There are contractual issues, documentations, and other things there. So their faith in insurance is really down. Because they don't really have faith in insurance, because they don't get support when they buy the policy, what type of policy they have to buy, and when they have a claim, how do they resolve the claim? Because at the end of the day, if they don't insure, what will happen is that all the things that we are doing and everything there, you have one fire outbreak in the marketplace and they come to zero. So we don't want that to happen. And we've realized, even as an industry, that the reason why we are not growing is just because the people are in the SME sector. More than 70% of them are contributing to GDP. And we are contributing only 1.1 because we are targeting only the big corporates. But the things have changed now. So we want to come down to SMEs. We want to understand their problems and provide them tailor-made packages.
WO4 Business, my name is Winston Taki. We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned.
Time for sports on JN Today. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Now, the much anticipated Democracy Cup between Hearts of Oak And Asante Kotoko will come off today at the Accra Sports Stadium. There was a joint press conference yesterday in Parliament ahead of the game. Lawrence Bade was there and has more in this report.
The game will be an opportunity for both Hatufuk and Asante Kotoko to close the chapter on their season with a trophy. The CAP is an initiative by the Parliament of Ghana to celebrate 30 years of parliamentary democracy. Kotoko are already in Accra for the third meeting between the two sides, following their meetings in the 2023-24 Ghana Premier League season. Speaking at the press conference ahead of the game, Hearts head coach Abubakar Ouattara and defender Kelvin Osei-Sibe are confident of the team's chances against the Porcupine Warriors.
We have the team. Hasselhoff have a team. The players, we have the young players, we have the new players. If they are playing the first time in the Premier League, bring it. We're starting, we are the first step, we are going to the second step. Manchester City, Guardiola makes 7 years before he won one cup in Europe. C'est open tema, we're elite. What do you say? I have confidence with our boys. No problem for that. It's not. Tomorrow is tomorrow.
When you talk about House of Folk, it's about the supporters. Supporters in the House of Folk and House of Folk. Since we know Kotoko House of Folk back to back. And the bit I share fans no anyone and a selchina and the reckon one makuru away at the show.
Kotoko have parted ways with 21 players since the end of the 2023-24 Premier League campaign. Some of them were key to the Kumasi Bay side's back-to-back wins over Hatufuk. However, assistant coach David Uklu and goalkeeper Frederick Asari believe the new signings, coupled with the old faces available, will get the job done on Wednesday.
Yes, I can assure you that they are equally good, if not better, and they have character. You're going to see a different Kumasi Asante Kotoko tomorrow.
What I can say is that what is past is past. And it's a new era. Players are out, new players are in. And as the coach said, we've trained well. What has happened is something of the past. And tomorrow the narrative is going to change. Yes. From tomorrow, the narrative about us winning the cup is going to change. Because we believe in the technical team, we believe in ourselves, and we have the able supporters who are also going into this game. I can assure you that it's a big win.
Before the game between Hatufuk and Kotoko, there will be a curtain raiser involving a parliamentary select side against former Black Stars players. The winner of the game between Kotoko and Hearts will get the opportunity to face MLS side DC United.
To the English Premier League, and Ghana international Abdul Fasau Isahaku says he can't wait to make his debut after completing a permanent move to Leicester City. The Black Stars winger returns to the Foxes, signing a 5-year contract in a £40 million transfer from Sporting Lisbon. And that's your sports on GM Today. My name is Haruna Mubarak.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabwa. Now to our first story, Afrobeat sensation Burna Boy just turned up the heat in the music scene becoming the first African artist to achieve 2 billion streams in the UK, proving he's truly twice as tall. We have more.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. I appreciate on 2 billion UK streams.
So we all knew you were right.
Unique plaque. It's a one-of-one. That's better. No plaque like that in the world. It's a one-of-one, you know what I'm saying? So, you have to fight for your right. Of course.
Fans can now celebrate this monumental success with Burna Boy, who continues to break barriers and set new records in the music industry. Burna Boy is truly twice as tall as ever. For Joy News, I am Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
Well, British singer Adele's next chapter isn't just about setting fire to the ring. She's setting her sights on new creative horizons, announcing a surprising break from music ahead of her Munich residency. She gave fans the surprising news.
In a move that has left fans saying hello to a bit of heartache, Adele has announced she'll be taking a big break from music. This news comes up as she gears up to wrap up her weekends with Adele residency in Las Vegas on November 23rd. Adele's Munich residency was supposed to be the next big thing, but in an interview with Germany's CDF, she feels her tank is quite empty after performing 100 live shows over the past 2 years.
I don't have any plans for new music at all. I want a big break after this, and I think I want to do other creative things just for a little while.
On that note, is a wrap for the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah. Faustina?
For bringing us Showbiz. Now, Adele taking a break. We're looking forward to what she comes back with because she's been doing this for a while, taking a break. I think our musicians should learn from this.
This is sort of different, you know, considering the fact that she says she wants to focus on other creative stuff to do. So, well, let's see what happens.
We'll be looking forward to her new songs when she arrives back on the music scene. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Some top stories there. Supreme Court defers ruling on injunction against transmission of anti-gay bill. My name is Faustina Savo. For more news, that's the place to be. Have a wonderful day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.